If you want to sell your house, leave a cake for us.
We're getting our talents into 2 tricky searches.
Along the way, there'll be houses to make you say,
Wow.
Wow. Wow. It's alternative, it's exciting.
a windmill.
And houses to make you row.
I'm not emotionally in love with it.
I think it's top of the list so far.
Top of the list?
No. Good crime or bad crime? Bad crime. This week I'm helping Phil and Susanna, who are being moved to the country by their alternative jobs and unusual hobby.
Whilst I try to sort out the differing needs of the Woodhead family, who are looking to relocate from city life in Edinburgh to village life here in stunning North Yorkshire.
Phil said it, the area around York is lovely. It's within easy reach of both the moors and the dales and is full of beautiful market towns and villages.
So it's not surprising that this is where both our couples have set their house-hunting hearts. And herein lies the problem. North Yorkshire is one of Britain's most picturesque counties, but fresh air, open space and beautiful scenery come at an increasing cost. The market here has risen by 85% in the last 5 years.
We've got 2 very different challenges on our hands. 2 very different couples with very different budgets. They both want to move from the city to the countryside, but that's about all they have in common.
There's nothing conventional about our first couple or their search. Susanna Bellini and Phil Callahan had a cosmic connection across a crowded life coaching room almost 5 years ago.
And we found we had a very strong energy connection straight away.
Yeah.
And it sort of went from there.
Since they met, they've turned their common fascination for complementary health therapies and personal development into a thriving business which they currently run together from their 4-bedroom townhouse in York.
But trying to teach inner peace is tricky when you live on the inner ring road in York city centre.
It would suit what we do more to be somewhere a bit quieter, a bit more in the country, a bit more green.
Susanna and Phil are looking to swoop in on a peaceful pad where they can not only run their business, but be close to their latest pastime, volunteering with birds of prey in Thirsk. They've already been searching for 18 months without any success. I'm curious to find out why.
Susanna, do you think you and Phil approach the purchase of a house in a different way from other people?
I don't know. It is a very difficult thing to explain. When I found this house, I immediately had that feeling.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of problems. I couldn't afford it. None of that concerned me. I knew I could move whatever it was because it felt right. In our search so far, neither Phil or myself have found anything that has anything like that kind of feeling of rightness to it.
This is going to be a challenge. Let's get down to brass tacks.
We both agreed it has to be quiet.
Yeah.
It's got to be a place that it just feels right.
Right.
That's the bit that's difficult to quantify.
That's the bit that's difficult to quantify.
But also, I think my third thing would be the business part needs to be in some way separate to our private part. We need some part where we have privacy.
You've sacrificed your own property for your business and you don't want to do that again?
No.
Am I right in thinking the budget is at 400,000 if you don't sell this house?
That's right.
And 550 if you do?
That's right.
I'm beginning to understand why it's taken them 18 months. Those are 2 very different budgets, so we've got our work cut out if they want to see properties in both price brackets.
And what about those feelings? We've got to focus on the practicalities. After all, that's what we're here for.
Susanna and Phil have up to 550,000 to spend on a character property.
They want to find change in a quiet countryside location not far from Thirsk.
Plus, they need a minimum of 2 bedrooms and a completely separate space for their living areas to run their training courses.
Our second couple, Trudy and Steve, have been living the high life north of the border in Edinburgh for the past 7 years. They've the perfect life with their 2 young sons, Sam and Thomas, and a great 3-bedroom house. But things are about to change big time.
Steve has decided that he wants to get back to his roots in Yorkshire. So he's gone and got himself a new job as a financial advisor in York. And he is moving the whole family south, lock, stock and barrel.
We've always wanted to
moved back to the north of England anyway. Everything just fell into place like a jigsaw, really.
It seems crazy to live in the same country as Steve's family, and the boys see them once in a blue moon.
But it's a big move for Trudy as she knows no one and loves her lifestyle in Scotland's capital. So I'm keen to learn if she really does share Steve's enthusiasm for the move.
You moved over here from Australia to be with Steve. You've established yourself in Edinburgh. You're very happy there. It's going to be a bit of an upheaval, surely.
I'm nervous. I am nervous, but I know that Steve is desperate to get back to God's country, as he likes to call it.
Yeah, typical.
Hi there.
Good. Hi, Phil.
Pleased to meet you.
Very nice.
How are you doing?
Come join us.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? Okay, all right.
So you've got a budget of 250,000.
Yep.
What are you after?
Minimum 3 bedrooms, bit of storage space, garden space.
We're realistic about what our budget will get, which is why we are willing to do some work on the property. I'm sure it'll be fabulous.
Let's go see what we've crossed.
Fingers crossed, okay.
And toes.
Yes, indeed.
Trudy and Steve have a budget of £250,000, and for that they're looking for a family home and garden in a village with a good school within easy reach of York.
They want a minimum of 3 bedrooms with the possibility of an office for Steve.
With a budget of £250,000, Trudy and Steve are looking for the perfect family pad.
And I've got between £400,000 and £550,000 to spend on a house with the right feel for Susanna and Phil. I think we've definitely got our work cut out here in North Yorkshire.
Well, I've got a couple who have been searching for 18 months, have a whole host of different requirements.
18 months, that spells trouble anyway.
Yeah, from birds of prey to chakra, blah, blah, I don't...
You don't look very into it.
No, I am. It's just that I can't quite get the main focus. I can't quite get to what they really, really want.
Hi, morning.
At least I know what Trudy and Steve want, but it's still going to be a challenge. They're looking for the countryside dream, and they're not alone.
Lots of families are eager to move out of cities and into the surrounding commuter villages, so these types of properties are being snapped up all over the country.
Susanna and Phil's budget is higher, up to £550,000. But for that, they're after not just a home, but a place to run their business from too. Nevertheless, we've lined up some fantastic options.
You'll never guess. Yep. No, it's an old windmill. Yep. Yeah. They could just fly the birds off the top.
But we're starting with our feet on the ground in this picturesque cottage. Located right in the heart of the village of Pick Hill, I think that it's got everything they want, but does require a bit of vision. So it will be interesting to see how they react.
Now, guys, you've seen the village, you've seen the pub, and this is the house.
And this is beautiful.
This 18th century semi-detached cottage is full of character, but it's also a practical choice as Susanna and Phil could convert the outbuildings to suit their new age business.
It's on the market for just under £400,000, so it's at the bottom end of their budget.
Now, coming straight in, guys, this is the sitting room. Your room, no one will ever come in this room who's not your personal guest.
I love this room. It's very, very quiet. Most important, it's just a really, really nice feel to it. It's that thing that was difficult to quantify.
Yeah.
That I think, yeah, this is gorgeous.
Come and see what I've planned for the rest of it.
So the all-important feeling is there.
And if I can persuade them that it would work for their business, I may be on to a winner.
This is where you need a bit of vision, because we need to knock through that wall into the storeroom that's beyond there,
Right.
and do a bit of building work to build up this room into a bigger room.
By knocking through, they'll be able to increase the workspace by at least 50%. And out back, things just get better and better.
Phil, you've been quite quiet.
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in. It's quite a lovely garden and it's a lovely space. There's a lot to think about in this house, but I think it's all very positive.
I'm delighted that they like this property, but it can't just be about feelings. I think this cottage could really work for them, as it would be easy to separate their work and living space. I hope they can see its potential.
Oh, come on, though, look. That's gorgeous. That is lovely.
That is a lovely view.
No, but I love that view.
Yeah, I really like this room.
I do.
It's a lovely sort of squarish room, which is, you know, it's always sort of feels better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could I have found somewhere perfect for them already?
I love these dogs. Whenever I see this is good. This is a sweet thing. There's little guardians around the place.
Right, guys. Feeling. That's what we talked about. We were looking for a house with the right feeling. Out of 10?
8 or 9. I always sleep on it a bit and then see how I feel in the morning. But yeah, there's lots to love about this place, and the feeling that I talked about earlier, this house has definitely got it.
I think we've established a very good benchmark.
Yes, whatever else happens, this is a contender. This is a lovely house.
I'm slightly reluctant to admit this, but this doesn't seem to be a very difficult search. There's lots of lovely properties to go and see which, in some way or another, fit their bill. How come it took them 18 months? And what am I missing here?
Trudy and Steve have a budget of £250,000 and are looking for a family home with a minimum of 3 bedrooms and an office for Steve, as he works from home 2 days a week. The first property I'm showing them is in the village of Amotherby, minutes from the market town of Malton, but 45 minutes from York, longer than they'd wanted. I'm hoping that the space will make up for the mileage.
This is a 3-bedroom house that's at the top of your budget. It's 250,000 or nigh on.
It's a semi-detached house with fantastic open-plan living space. Upstairs does only have 3 bedrooms, but I think they could add a room by building on top of this previous extension. It also has a large garden, and I've got a nifty idea for Steve's office. But great space like this comes at a premium, so it's at the top end of their budget at 250,000.
I know.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Come and see what your money buys you. Now.
Wow.
Wow's a nice start.
Yeah, this looks lovely. Wow.
It's 40 foot from front to back.
Okay.
It's common in Australia to find big open spaces like this, but this is a rare
We haven't seen anything that has got this whole. It's fun. I don't know. I'm a little bit speechless. It's wow.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
It's nice.
I just seem to continually be saying wow, but that's
very nice.
a lovely
very long garden.
But it actually gets better at the end of the garden.
I won't say wow again. I'll come up with something else.
I'm very happy with wow, Trudy. Wow is fine.
Trudy obviously loves the house, but what will she make of what lurks at the bottom of the garden?
Have a look at this. That's about the biggest shed that anybody could ever imagine.
It's everything you'd need. We wouldn't even have to decorate it.
Here is space for a really, really good office.
Okay.
Absolutely. It looks fantastic. I hope I'm not being over enthusiastic, but it just looks lovely.
It is. It's very nice.
Plenty of space for me. Don't know what you would use.
Trudy may be singing its praises, but Steve's being ominously quiet.
Is it big enough for you upstairs?
Probably not, but we're not just going to look at a property just on the point of view of the upstairs. Clearly, it's the whole shebang.
I imagine this house will work very neatly for you as the 4 of you. If you've got people coming from over from Australia, your dad coming to stay, that's when it starts to get complicated.
Sure.
Or another baby.
Dear me, I'll sit down for a second.
This house seems to have impressed Trudy, but it sounds like the lack of a 4th bedroom could be a deal breaker. So what will they make of the second property I'm showing them? It's just 9 miles from York, near the busy market town of Easingwold, on the edge of the village of Hubie.
This is very typical cul-de-sac living. This is on the market at 247.5 grand.
Okay.
Being closer to York means that they are compromising on downstairs living space, but it has the 4 bedrooms thereafter, one of which could be turned into a study for Steve.
It does fit Trudy and Steve's brief, plus it's just under their 250 grand budget.
Come in and see if the living room scores points for you.
Okay, feels a bit dark.
It is dark. We've got green carpets, we've got dark furniture, but there are things that you could do to improve.
Of course, yeah.
It's still a nice sized room if you could get rid of that entire wall.
We could.
Oh, could you?
And if Kirstie was here, she'd have her sledgehammer out and she'd be haranguing me for not saying that before. But no, I mean, literally, it's not a supporting wall.
Right.
We could have that out in half an hour.
Okay.
I'm not getting very positive vibes from these two, but it does have everything they've asked for, including the all-important space for Steve to work from.
It's a single room. I think it would work very well as an office.
Right, yeah.
But it means Steve would have to work in the house.
From experience, working from home with
Working
two
in
young
the
children
house, yeah.
has been challenging, to say the least, in terms of getting your work done.
Okay.
That I think the ideal situation is that Steve is not based in the house.
It is.
I need you out of the house.
I hadn't quite appreciated the separate office space being so important for their marriage.
The key to every successful relationship is time apart.
So what do you think then?
I think as it stands, the fourth bedroom in this house doesn't do it.
I would rather go for 3 bedrooms with the possibility of putting in a 4th bedroom rather than have something like this.
Well, I think, to be fair, the 4th bedroom doesn't work in this place.
Careful, Phil. Eavesdroppers never hear well of themselves.
It's fascinating. I love it.
The house feels quite small.
So that's what we really came here to learn, wasn't it?
I think the answer's no.
Yeah, I think
In fact, I know the answer's no.
It looks like it's back to the drawing board.
I'm definitely having more luck with Susanna and Phil. I've already shown them one house with the feeling, and I can't wait to see how they react to the second. The old schoolhouse is a semi-detached 2-bedroom cottage in Boltby, a lovely village on the edge of the North York Moors National Park.
It comes with this amazing annex, an ideal space for Susanna and Phil's alternative therapy courses. As it's on the market for £439,950, Susanna and Phil would need to sell their York house in order to afford it.
Now, this house is a different proposition from the previous one in that it's completely finished, both house and work area.
It's small but perfectly formed, with a sitting room, separate dining room and 2 bedrooms. It's finished to a very high standard, but this means that Susanna and Phil won't be able to add any value themselves, and I'm also concerned that the house can't grow with them.
I think in a place like this, I'd just be stroking the house all the time, all the woodwork.
No, it is lovely, the woodwork, and it's beautifully done, and you can just see a lot of TLC has gone into it.
I love this. This is a lots of possibilities area.
It's got your little bits of glass.
These.
That's lovely.
Oh, look at this. That is just super gorgeous.
I'll say one other thing. The next door neighbour has 3 birds of prey.
No!
and an aviary. They're called Una, Somalia and Bomber. That's it.
No!
Oh, don't cry.
That's all right.
Good crying or bad crying? Bad crying.
It's just a memory of another bird who was called Bomber.
Maybe it's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
It
just got me emotionally because...
Yes, yeah, because of the other bird.
Not quite the reaction I was hoping for with my trump card. Just as well, I've got another ace up my sleeve.
Right, guys, this is your place of work. Area here for everyone sitting out here and having a cup of coffee. Total 100% separation. Come and have a look. In you come, guys.
Ooh, wow.
Now, you've got the upstairs bit and the downstairs bit, so I think there is enough room. I mean, let's actually have a look at it. This is what you need, Susanna, look.
Yes, folding chairs.
There's a folding chair. Now, how many of these chairs?
For the sort of thing we're wanting to do now with smaller groups, you'd want sort of 10 people to feel comfortable.
Let's really do this because analysis is what's
sofa.
important. Let's move this screen. Personally, I think you could have a row of 6 and a row of 4.
Yeah, I think this could work.
Yeah, I think so. It's a really nice flexible space because we can use the upper area as breakout space.
Have a look, Phil. Go up and see what you think.
Oh, this is a magical space up here.
It is.
I think I might just, you know those little prayer stools I've got, meditation stools, just to have them here, kind of looking out at that. Or down there, looking out at that.
I think I'll leave you to it, guys. Oh, the sun's nearly out.
This is beautiful.
Fantastic.
I told you she's a little star. She's found something wonderful for us.
It's funny, I had a dream about a schoolhouse last night.
You didn't?
Oh yeah.
There we are, standing outside the schoolhouse. That's really extraordinary.
That's quite a sign, I think.
Has this one knocked the other one out of the water?
Totally. We absolutely love this one.
It's fantastic.
It's everything we could possibly want. It's just gorgeous.
When can we move in?
Bingo. But now is not the time for me to skip about and feel smug. We're also dealing in cold, hard cash, and I want them to see another house which I think offers them something different.
Now, there's one word that we haven't heard so far, and that's investment. Now, I don't know, I may be wrong about this, but I don't suspect, Susanna, that you've got a whole lot of money stashed away.
No.
Other than in your house.
No.
So if you sell that house, that valuable house in York, and spend money on something else, you've got to make sure that you're spending the right amount of money in the right place.
This detached house is in the centre of Helperby, a thriving village halfway between York and Thirsk.
It has 3 reception rooms, 5 bedrooms and a lovely large garden, as well as garages that could be converted into ample space for their business.
It's on the market for 445 grand, so with this one they would need to sell their York house.
This property does require a little bit of work, rather like the first one we saw. That room there that you can see needs to be extended out to there in order to give you a really big room. But it's certainly worth doing, and again, completely self-contained. They don't interfere with you in the house. Now this is a fantastic room. It's the original kitchen, but a very early addition. It's got enormous amounts of charm, and then coming through, you see, look.
Oh, look at this. Yeah.
Does this complicate things?
Yes, it complicates things. The last house was the house of my heart. I absolutely loved it. But this is another sort of house I love. And there is more of the space that we want, and there's character.
There's lots of character.
And it's also good for a centre. So you're making it very, very hard.
Oh dear, I had high hopes for this one. I didn't mean to make it harder. I'm supposed to make it easier.
She seems to be in a bit of a quandary.
Yes, it's really to do with just the differences in lifestyle. If it's a case of getting a place that's fantastic as a centre, it's well located, all the rest of those things, this house ticks all those boxes, but in a way that makes it difficult to not have a centre or to do something different.
Now I'm with you. It's that you're not 100% set on doing what you do now for the foreseeable future.
That's right.
Okay, I think I understand. There's a lot of different things, and it is hard for me to work out what the uber priorities are.
I'm having a difficulty that I like all of the houses, I like all of the styles,
Yeah.
there are things I like about all of them. I could be comfortable in all of them.
They may love it, but they haven't asked me the price.
It's on the market at 445,000.
Okay, that makes it a much easier decision. The last house is too small, practically.
Yeah.
This is too big.
Yeah, I feel we'd be paying extra for space we don't need.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think we can pass on this safely knowing what the price is now.
I am really capable of being enormously sympathetic to Phil and Susanna's feelings, desires, needs. What about investment? There's hundreds of thousands of pounds at stake here.
Knowing that the setting of the village is always going to be important to you, I thought we'd start the day in the centre of the village. This is Elvington, and it is absolutely beautiful.
Very nice.
It's gorgeous.
And this is the house which they could both be looking for. It's on a small estate just on the edge of the village. Although not quite the country dream, it is a practical option and it's below budget.
Again, it's actually very deceiving once you get inside. Not quite what you might expect.
It's got great living space downstairs and a small office for Steve, which, although not separate, is quite private. And upstairs it has the 4 good-sized bedrooms they really want.
And at £230,000, I think Steve will love the price tag.
It's been extended in about 3 different places. It's huge.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I would have to say, straight off, I don't like it from the front.
Trudy's first impressions aren't good. What about Steve?
My first impressions outside were okay, but inside, good feel. Good first impression when you come inside. The space obviously hits you straight away. So, yeah.
This could get interesting.
Now, it is the space that is the the constant theme in this.
Goodness.
Wow. It's lovely.
It's enormous.
We've also got a ready-built office.
Okay.
I know it's very much part of the house, and
Sure.
the kids are running around. It might not be ideal, but at least it is there.
Steve's looking ever more positive, and he's yet to see the pièce de résistance.
The current owners put this on.
Don't even think about it.
This is it. We don't need to say anywhere else.
You certainly wouldn't be using it as a games room. Let's just get
Thanks for clarifying that straight away.
Upstairs there are 4 good-sized bedrooms, but will so much space make up for any lack of charm?
It's not a pretty house. I'm not emotionally in love with it.
It ticks the boxes that we need. It's within budget. I think it's top of the list so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Top of the list?
Yeah.
But
I know there's other properties to see, but so far...
don't just be because it's under budget, Steve.
It's not. It's not because of that. It's not.
There's
because
nothing wrong with spending the money that we've got.
Practically speaking, it's got all the 4 bedrooms. It's got potential outside. The kitchen's good. Has an office.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm with Trudy on this. Don't forget, she's leaving behind a lot of friends in Edinburgh, a city she's grown to love over 7 years, so she needs to feel a real excitement about her new home in Yorkshire.
I think that I am being very open to this house, even though I absolutely hate it, and I think you're not open to my house, and that's making me cross. You know, I clearly don't like this house, but I'm still really considering it, and I would come back for a second viewing. But I don't think you're considering my house at all, really. You've kind of just discarded my house.
No, that is absolutely wrong.
I think you have.
That is absolutely wrong.
Oh dear, Phil, looks like choppy waters ahead.
Well, fortunately, I've heard about a cracking property that's just come to the market. It's in the thriving village of Old Malton, 45 minutes from York.
What do you think of that?
It's beautiful.
I think it looks absolutely lovely.
Well, that's a good start. This charming semi-detached cottage has got a good-sized living area downstairs, but only 3 bedrooms upstairs. But there is an attic just waiting to be converted.
And I believe it offers them the best of both worlds, as they could add space and value.
I think a joy of this house is the proportions of each individual room.
This looks lovely. You've done well.
Okay.
I hope we've both got good vibes from this one.
I think this has a much greater charm, sort of romance, than other
Yeah.
places that we've been. But the compromise of that is we've gone down a little bit in size.
While Steve checks out the kitchen, I want a quiet word with Trudy upstairs.
Steve will always look at the bottom line first, and I will
Price.
always look at the bottom line last. And that is the difficulty we're having, but I don't think he is being passionate or emotional enough.
Nevertheless, there are practical issues to consider. This house only has 3 bedrooms, so I need to show them how they can extend it.
Really coming out the back gives us a perspective of what next door have done. There were only 3 bedrooms in this house. They have extended up into the attic. Massive attic space.
It looks big, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, that certainly has got potential.
You know, this is the house that I would imagine people living in a village in the middle of England in.
Trudy likes it then, but does Steve feel the same way?
Practically speaking, it's good. It has potential. So it really is the nearest. I would say so. Would you agree?
Are you kidding me? Really? Really? Yes. Really? We're in a good position. We've got 3 great houses, which after this morning, I didn't think we would walk away with 3 houses that potentially we're very interested in looking at again.
Well, bravo, Mr. Spencer. You muddled through in the end, but you're not out of the woods yet. I need to bend your ear.
I have had such a time, and the fact of the matter is they aren't even vaguely focused. But one of them has got to see that, actually this hasn't been that hard a search. I've shown them 3 lovely properties. Here we've got a 4th lovely property. I don't know why it took them 18 months to find something.
They didn't have you.
No, Phil, come on, it's not so hard.
I'm trying.
I'm not a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist.
I've come here for a nice time, Tony.
Well, I hope, but doubt I can provide that for you.
I'm sure you will.
Morning.
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 How you doing?
Good.
We lined up something slightly alternative this morning. Thought that it might suit in one way or another. What do you think? A windmill?
It's alternative, it's exciting.
First impressions?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a landmark kind of property.
It is a landmark property. It's on the map.
This converted windmill's on the edge of the village of Tollerton, north of York.
Originally built in 1815, it's been added to over the years and offers ample living space, as well as the room Susanna and Phil need for their business.
It's on the market for £500,000, which would mean that they would have to sell their York house to buy it. But its quirkiness would suit these two down to the ground.
Now, obviously this is the staircase, but it's also the centre of the mill. And if you see, they've tried to keep as much as possible. And actually, I think it makes a beautiful dining room.
This is amazing.
This room is an absolute winner. It is light, it is cosy at the same time.
I love that sort of the big windows, the views, the light coming in, feeling that you're in the garden, and some of the gardens inside with plants, and to have a big spacious room. This is wonderful.
Well, she seems to love this place.
But I'm starting to worry that Susanna doesn't ever do negative.
Now, you will need your sledgehammer. This is the kitchen, perfect kitchen for you, lots of surface space. Through there is a big bathroom, a lot of cupboards, a double bedroom and a utility area, all of which could be knocked into one to create a teaching room.
Now, what do you make of this?
This is a dream come true. Oh, wow. I wanted a view, you got me a view.
I think it's only when you get up to this level in the house that you really get a sense of where and how the house is positioned. Sorry to confuse you again.
Oh, I don't know, there may be no confusion whatsoever with
Really?
this. Yeah. Wait to see what Phil thinks as well.
How do you think this property is stacking up in comparison to the others?
It's a case of, is it right for us? And I'm not so sure it is in the same way that the old schoolhouse felt. Like it was a place where we could be settled.
Okay.
And it's got flexibility that allows us to grow and expand and learn and do the things we need to do.
Personally, I think this house offers more flexibility than Boltby. I think the old schoolhouse has one problem in that it is what it is. It can't grow at all. Whereas something like this probably does have more flexibility in terms of what you use the space for, whether you live in the whole thing as a house, whether you have some of it as a business and some of it as a house.
So you're quite confident in your own mind that you and Phil reached the same conclusions in your decisions. You go about it in a different way.
But we reached the same, yeah.
You haven't been able to do that
Well, that...
in 18 months.
No, and I think that is because things are changing in what sort of work we want to do and how we want to run our business. And that's where the difficulty comes, is how much...
Have you ever heard of the expression, having cake and eat it?
Yes, I know.
Careers develop, minds change.
Yes, yes.
And, you know, the reality is you haven't been able to reach or get to that clarity of where you can both take a decision, which involves writing a very big cheque. That's where we kind of need to press on and get to that now. I actually said to Susanna upstairs that she was trying to have her cake and eat it.
Did you?
Oh,
God, that was brave of you. Did you say that, really?
Yeah.
This is something so special. And when you look out at this here, it's like a green sea, isn't it? Look how it ripples across, and you see the wind coming across there.
You're still up here admiring the view.
Oh, we are still up here admiring the view.
It's got to be a good sign, isn't it?
And I was just saying, I could probably sit up here for several days if we got this house and just look at the view.
How about the whole package?
It is a very attractive proposition. It's a case of weighing it up against the other house, not just on its own merits, because, you know, we are having to kind of compare this with the house that really has captured our hearts, you know.
So, are you saying we need to go back to Boltby and see how we respond to that, having seen this?
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll get back to Boltby.
Yeah.
Right. Okie doke, Boltby it is then.
Clearly, Phil is a good influence. It's now narrowed down to 2 houses. Susanna's sold on the windmill, while it seems that Phil's heart is still with the old schoolhouse.
Let's hope it doesn't end in tears again.
One of the selling points for Boltby is that the next-door neighbours keep birds of prey, so we arrange for Susanna and Phil to go and meet him.
You couldn't pick a better place around here to fly the birds. It's, you know, you look at the space we've got.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's the only reason why I've taken it up. Because I used to live in the city before and never had the opportunity to do this kind of thing.
What could be more perfect than living next door to someone else who's got birds of prey?
Yeah.
But you can't buy a house because of the neighbours. You never know when they might take flight.
Appreciating, of course, that you've had lots to consider and figure out over the last few days. Where are your minds at with this property?
We've decided.
We're currently, if we can get this...
So who's decided?
We've decided.
Let's just clear that one up.
Having just had
Was
a
that
small
a royal
chat.
we?
No, having just had a small chat, I thought we've decided, and then when he started talking, it sounded as though we're still thinking. But we've decided, haven't we?
We've decided that if we can have this for 400, we would have it.
Well, I think we need to go and discuss how we deal with the possibility of making an offer at 10% less than the asking price.
This is infuriating. They've been looking for 18 months and have finally found a place they both love, but they're offering 40 grand under the asking price. This suggests to me that their hearts aren't really in it.
They don't want a house. I know they don't. They don't.
They've spent 18 months
No,
looking for the
they don't want a house. They're still talking about the windmill. They're talking about offering 400 for this.
And the other place I feel,
You'll do as you're asked. They're the clients. The client pays, the client wins.
My job is to help Trudy and Steve. They had 3 houses on their shortlist, so has a night's sleep clarified things.
We've had a good think about it, and the 3 are now down to 2. We've decided to discount the house in Motherby. We felt there wasn't much to the village in terms of amenities.
I do still love that house, but location is very important to us.
Let's make a start.
So it's back to Elvington. I never thought Trudy would be persuaded to even consider this house for a second time.
Well, yesterday, the first impression that you had of the outside wasn't a positive one. Does it feel any better coming here today?
Not the way it is. No, I still don't like it from the outside.
I mean, you can always dress a house up. You can't do anything with the architectural style, but you can always make them look better.
Sure.
Now, what I want you to think about is how you use all the space that this house offers you. It's got fantastic square footage, but you need to think how you'd actually live in it.
I just feel it lacks somewhere that we can come together as a family.
And it's not just the inside that Trudy objects to.
This house lacks green space other than
The
snooker table.
Snooker table.
That's kind of the only bit of green we've seen.
What are you going to do with this room? Would you keep it? Would you take it away?
We would have it taken down, and we would have a lawn put down.
But by doing away with the conservatory, all that inside space would go, and it could knock up to 10 grand off the value.
Actually, you'd find it hard to get excited about.
I will never
that's
get excited about this house, Phil.
That's tough if you're going to be moving 300 miles.
And that's what Steve has to remember.
Trudy's going to have to put her foot down if she feels that strongly.
I think the key thing, Steve, is sideways move. We're going to be spending possibly 30,000 more than what we're in Edinburgh to go sideways.
Yeah. Trudy, I've pretty much made my mind up anyway.
So Trudy may not win the emotional argument, but she's shrewd enough to know that she can persuade Steve that living here doesn't make financial sense.
We've made a decision.
We have.
We or one of you?
Actually, Steve.
Yes, I must have, having come back again today, I've made a decision, and as a non-starter, we will not put an offer in on this property.
Okay.
I'm glad they're being decisive, but it does only leave them with 1 house in the running. I'm taking them back to see the last house left on their shortlist, the semi-detached cottage in Old Moulton.
I've no doubt Phil will remind them that second viewings are about the head, not the heart.
First thoughts coming back in?
Lovely. I love it as much as I did yesterday.
Bags of character. Like it a lot, like the area.
Now, we've got to think here about the practicalities of living in this smaller house. It's only got 3 bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd like 4, and ideally, you'd like an office.
Yes.
Have we solved the office issue with the shed in the garden?
That could be workable.
Trudy, you were the one that actually had quite firm opinions about where Steve's office should be. Are you happy with that?
I very much so. I think, particularly in this house, Steve working in the house is not the best solution. So, shed in the garden, great.
So the outside office space is solvable, but there is still the issue of there being only 3 bedrooms.
No, I think we definitely have to be able to go up into the attic.
That would need to work.
When you're considering an extension, it's a great idea to try and see what the neighbours have done. I've arranged a visit next door.
Right.
I see.
Only ceiling height. It's not bad.
It's great. It's actually
I like it.
bigger than It's bigger than I thought it would be.
So that's sorted then. Plenty of space for a 4th bedroom and bathroom, which makes it decision time.
Can you see yourselves living here?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, will you look happy?
We do. We are happy. It's a big thumbs up.
Happiness all round, but Steve and Trudy will need every penny they have to make the necessary changes. So Phil, the ball's in your court.
It's on the market at 245,000. It's been on only for a couple of weeks. If we could buy it for less than 240 grand, we'd be doing well. My advice is that we go in at sort of 237, leave room to negotiate upwards.
Okay.
Happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew, hi, it's Phil Spencer speaking. Yeah, ringing to talk to you about the house in Old Malton that we've been to see. The offer that they've asked me to submit to you is 237,000. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. Cheers. Bye. I think we'd be lucky to get it accepted, but we know that is part of the process of negotiation.
Back with Susanna and Phil. They still don't want to pay a penny more than 400 grand for the Boltby house. That's 40k under the asking price. I have to admit, even with my help, I don't fancy their chances much.
Yeah. The decision is something I feel absolutely certain about.
100%.
100%.
If you are absolutely sure that if they said 400, they said yes to 400, you would want it within everything that's within your power.
We love the house and we want to live in it.
9, 2, 1. So, Stephen, it's Kirstie. Susanna and Phil are mustard keen on that house. They have doubts about its price. £400,000. Okay, right. Are we a million miles away? Oh dear. I don't think it would be 425. If there was more, I don't think it would be that. Okie doke, thanks. Okay, bye.
You've done the best you can. Now we have to wait and see. Yeah.
It was worth a shot, but with an offer that low, I'm not surprised it was rejected. So, are things any better for Trudy and Steve?
Hello, Phil Spencer. Okay. Okay. Cheers, Andrew. Right. The Mrs. Vendor can't get hold of her husband who's at work, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Trudy and Steve have no alternative but to head back home to Edinburgh to wait for an answer.
And after a sleepless night, the news they've been waiting for is in. The vendor has rejected their offer of 237. But...
For 240?
Yeah.
You're joking. That's not the news I was expecting, but thank you, that's just fantastic.
Result! My work here is done.
Got a new house!
I got a new house.
You've got a new house, that's right.
with their offer on the old schoolhouse rejected, Susanna and Phil were facing an uncertain future. But with these two, it pays to expect the unexpected. And I'm delighted to say they put in an offer of £450,000 for my favourite property, the windmill. And they got it.
All they have to do now is exchange on their house in York, and their dream of living the high life can become a reality.
As long as that comes through okay, then everything's fine and wonderful, and this is the end of our search and a wonderful place to be. This is an incredible view. I mean, you could not get a better view.
It's going to allow us to really sort of have our own space here and enjoy bringing people here as well, so as they can experience all of this too. It's just such a lovely place to be.
A few miles away, as the eagle flies, Trudy and Steve have already moved into their new home and couldn't be happier.
I feel very settled that I'm back in Yorkshire, I must admit. It didn't take me long to make the adjustment at all.
It's just fantastic, and it's everything that you expect living in rural England to be like. We never would have done it. We never would have found this area.
Oh, we did definitely landed on our feet, without doubt.
So, yeah, I'm loving it. Sam has announced on several occasions that when he grows up he wants to be a farmer. You know, the tractor comes up and down the lane and Sam and Thomas, you know, run around the house screaming, "Tractor, tractor!" I still stop at those moments and think, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.